Okay, it's Wednesday, April 12th, about 4:38 p.m. I'm going to show you how I prepare the meals for both Hippy and Meisha. Right now I'm pretty limited to what I can give them, so they're eating a lot of chicken. Um, I was feeding them brown rice, which was healthy for dogs, but because of um, the high phosphorus level in brown rice, I have to use white enriched rice. Um, but I make the best of it. No salt. If well, see, here's the thing: dogs, any mammal, I guess, still needs a certain percentage of sodium in their diet daily. So I just at times may put just a pinch where you may not even detect the salt. Um, but to make if it's bland, I notice this is I notice they won't really dig into it. Um, Salt, a little salt brings out the flavor in the sauce. I make a homemade sauce from with sweet potatoes, fresh green beans. Everything's got to be fresh. Nothing out of a can because that's nothing but sodium. Um, Carrots. Um, what else do I give them? There's other. And if you Google it, you'll see what is permitted to give dogs that are healthy and which dogs they suggest what type of vegetables you should give them if they have renal failure. So that's what I've been doing. And most all my ingredients are coming straight from the internet, from Google. And I just put some chicken in the refrigerator. I mean, in the microwave. I got some white rice I'm heating up, and there's just a little leftover rice from the last time they had it. So maybe a little longer. Put it in for a minute. So what I do, um, I use chicken thighs because chicken thighs are really juicy. The veterinarian uh, suggests their food needs to be moist, nothing dry. Um, Chicken broth would be excellent. It has to have moisture. I guess it has to. That way, it helps, pass it through the kidneys or something like that. I'm not, he told me everything, but with just knowing that what's going on with them, it's like in one ear, out the other. Unless I have to think about it, and then I'll either call the clinic and say, "What did you say?" But no, I'm not that bad. But I'm getting there. So now, sage for dogs with renal failure. Sage is safe to use. Um, Oregano, not too much. Can't use too much. If you look when you Google it, if you're going to make your own food for your dog, and that's what I suggest you do, especially if you love your 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 children, your babies, as much as I love my girls. I'm going to give them whatever is the healthiest because I've gone through the nightmare of dealing with commercial grade dog food, wet, and it's a nightmare. You're killing your dog. You hear it on the news, you think people think it's a joke. No, you are killing your dogs. It nearly killed Hippy. You know, Pentobarbital in dog food. Come on. I mean, she was bleeding out of her urinary tract, or Anyway, so you take the chicken. I got. It's hot. Right. This is it. Chicken thighs. All that's natural broth. That's healthy. I don't add any salt to it because the only thing I will add but a pinch. A pinch where you just barely can detect any type of salt or sodium is just in their sauce, because if it's bland, I've noticed they play with it and then they walk away. They won't even touch it. They get this salt brings out a little. I mean, well, actually, a lot of the flavor, because even I have to test it before I give them the sauce, because if I taste more salt, then the whole thing goes in the garbage and I got to start all over again. Or if I got enough made, then I'll or else I just don't give them salt, and then I know what the outcome is. It'll just sit in the bowl, and I have to stick it in the refrigerator until they literally are starving. They'll eat it then, but I'm not going to do that. It's safe to give your dog just a little low sodium. And I mean, the FDA standards of low sodium is far different from mine, because if they say low, I mean I'm wanting low, low. So that being said, you take the chicken, put your saucepan, your skillet. I use nothing but extra virgin olive oil. This is not Kroger brand olive oil, by the way. I use Felipe Vireo. This is the real deal, folks. Probably not as good as some, but for what the price of that is right now, it's worth it. So I take a little bit, put it in your frying pan, just maybe, I'm going to estimate maybe 1.5 to 2 tablespoons. Just enough to cover the circumference of the inner portion of this well beat up, whatever it is, saucepan, fried pan, whatever you want to call it. Alright, so kind of spread it around a little bit. We'll get it'll spread out a little more. Then what I'll do is use sage. Take a little bit of sage. Yes, this is the good stuff from like, I don't know, I'm not going to name the name of the grocery store, but spices, it's good. I mean, McCormick is best, or far better, I should say, but nothing beats fresh grown organic herbs. Nothing. Yes, and if you had the space, and if I had the space, believe me, I'd be growing all sorts of oregano and basil and sage and thyme and rosemary and all that good stuff. So I sprinkle it on the inside of the skillet, okay? It's going to cover, I give them 1 cup of protein, and I use a measuring cup. I have to measure everything now, because before it was like I eyeballed it, and it's got to be measured. 1 cup of protein of chicken, 1/2 cup of rice. The broth, you gotta play. You gotta see how they like it, because with my girls, if you put too much broth in the root on the rice and the food, and you make it soupy, chances are they're not gonna want to eat it. At least not right away. They want something they can grab onto instead of having to slurp it. And right now they don't have very many teeth, and they're not good at slurping. So you got to balance it out. Not too moist, but not dry either. You got to stay definitely away from dry. A little spit of this stuff isn't going to go anywhere. You got to soak it, but not too much. Okay? So I'll show you how I do it. So now I'm going to I put basil, I put sage, and now I'm going to add just a pinch of oregano, dried oregano. When you combine what I've found, when you combine the flavors of the herbs with the chicken, it sends out an aromatic, really good scent, and I think that's what your pet will pick up on. My girls, they just they'll smell it, and then they'll lick, and then they smell, lick, and then whoop, they start eating. So, same thing, take just a little bit, and I might just add a little bit more olive oil after this, just to get the juices flowing. Okay, that was probably about another 2 tablespoons of olive oil. All right, now I'm going to take the chicken. Always remember, before you handle anything, you wash your hands. I washed them when I came in from walking the dogs, but grabbing this and that through the house, and I didn't clean the counters very well today. So I just, for their sake, with COVID, I don't want to I'm a germaphobe. You know, I got the kitchen sink here. There's soap, antibacterial. Okay. So, what we're gonna do, I'm gonna stop the video because this is gonna take a little while to strip the bone. I'm gonna strip the meat off the bone, shred the chicken, throw it in there after the oil heats, and then I'll get right back to you and I'll show you where we're at. Okay.